play it, Star Spangled Banner. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Hello, America. It is the Red Friday podcast here. Oh, yeah. Broadcasting, live streaming on all of our social media channels. And, we're wearing our red. I got my red on today, but I got a little windbreaker going on over it. I'm in Texas, and it's 66 degrees. I'm sure it's colder in other parts where you guys are at, especially up north. But you know, it's been Texas weather is nice. It's not too bad. It's not Florida, but it's not too bad. It's gotten up into the 80s here. I think it was 75, 80 over Christmas. Anyway, lots to talk about today on the Red Friday podcast. No guests, so you get to listen to me for an hour. If you hang out for an hour, that Indiana Oregon game is coming up in 30 minutes, and that's going to be a good one. I guess it's going to be a good one. It's not going to be like the game last night with Miami and Ole Miss. Boy, what a game that was. That had to have been good for about a six pack, huh? Hopefully you had some beers and watched that game. We're live streaming on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, and we are live streaming on LinkedIn as well, and Instagram. So if you got any comments or questions, I like you guys interactive in this deal here at the Red Friday podcast. So throw some questions and comments out there. I'm trying to monitor all the different channels here. And matter of fact, let me see. I know y'all are popping on here. Usually I like to give you a good 5-10 minutes to everybody to pop on. Say hello. Tell me where you're at. What part of the country you're at. Nashville. Chris Huff in the house. Nashville. Yes. Nash Vegas. We love Nashville, Chris Huff. That's for sure. That is for sure. Had a lot of good times in Nashville throughout the years. I'll talk. We'll talk about some of those too. Sharon Humphrey Miller's in the house. Casa Grande, Arizona. Sharon, Arizona. That is a beautiful state, Arizona. I love it. The Proud Canes here. Amit Rupani in the house, my brother from another. Yeah, I know you're a Proud Canes fan. Miami. Pulling it out. How about that final play there, Amit Rupani? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm just all right, people are popping on here. Let me see what's going on over at good old Instagram here. Okay. And X. Let me give everybody a few minutes to get online. Anyway, if you just joined us, welcome to the Red Friday podcast. Alan Beal, Armed Forces Brewing Company. Lots to talk about. Manuel Rivera's watching. Hey, Manuel, where are you from? What state are you watching from, Manuel? Let's see here. We get on X. Let's see who's... if some people are watching there. Yeah, we got about 9. Okay. All right, everybody's popping on. Anyway, Red Friday podcast, we like to talk about beer tank issues, instead of water tower issues. beer tank issues, stuff we like to go and have a beer and talk about. And we got a lot of crazy topics coming on for 2026. Um, and I made some promises last week. I'm going to talk about those with some guests coming on the Red Friday podcast. We're going to grow this puppy. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming on and listening and partaking. But let's talk. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about beer real quick, and then we'll go into some stuff, and I'll announce some other stuff about beer and everything. So our preamble, We the People Light Session Lager is packaged. It is ready to go. We are working out the final details with our online ordering and shipping fulfillment partner. I've already talked to our distributor, so we can get the beer to the fulfillment place. We're just waiting on the fulfillment people, and sometimes they're taking a little bit of time, too much time, if you ask me. I'm a go at it guy, but you know how things go. So once we get the beer over there to the fulfillment center, we will let everybody know. We'll pop up the link where you can go and order preamble beer and have it shipped. So that's coming real soon. I'm going to be working on that. Well, I have been working on it, but even over the weekend, I'll be reaching out to our fulfillment partner or shipping partner. Now, they have, from what I'm told, and sometimes these things fluctuate, but from what I'm told, they actually ship to 45 states and the DC area. So that's more than we had when we were shipping out of Yanni's Wine Store in Virginia Beach. They could only ship to about 32 states. And sometimes that stuff fluctuated. It got sometimes a little frustrating. But anyway, 45 states and DC, that's not bad. We're happy about that, and we think that's true. So we'll see. Lots of people popping onto the Red Friday podcast. I hope you guys are wearing your red. We obviously have a lot of military members that are deployed right now. We've had them hanging out in the Caribbean Sea for a while, and of course we all know what happened. A very successful mission from Delta Force and their support teams in the military. That's awesome. Pretty precision stuff there by the United States military. That's why they're the best in the world, folks. That's why they're the best. And a lot of stuff coming out. I hope though we're going to make a movie, or I hope we get a documentary pretty soon on this mission, and that would be cool. Get to know a little more about Delta Force and how they did it, what all went into it, and how they got Maduro and his wife over here. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, so that's the deal on the beer. Getting the beer over there, and we're reestablishing connection with a lot of distributors and stuff like that. So we are really looking for that New Jersey distributor. Holy crap. They have been tough cookies for the last 3 years to get somebody in New Jersey to pick our brand up. So if any of you are listening from New Jersey, call distributors. Just call them. Call whatever distributor you want. Call whatever distributor in New Jersey you want and say, hey, are you guys going to carry that Armed Forces Brewing Company beer? Oh my God. I need to get all the phone numbers for these distributors in New Jersey and just ask all of you to start calling them up requesting our beer. I don't know what else to do because we've done so much to try and get in with a Jersey distributor. It's been the hardest state to get into, and once we get Jersey, we can get New York and put that distribution train all the way up to Massachusetts, Maine, whatever. But we are going to be doing a lot of contract brewing in Pennsylvania. We're going to keep brewing in Florida, but we're also pivoting up to Pennsylvania. We're going to be contract brewing through B3 Beverage Company up there. They've got around 5 facilities, including yards in Philadelphia. I'm sure you've heard that. You know, it's funny. These are great guys, by the way. And one of their breweries specializes in non-alcoholic beer as well. So that's exciting to us. And they have facilities where we can do small batches. They have facilities where we can do large batches. So this is going to be a great partnership. And once we start dropping beer up there in Pennsylvania, we'll be able to easy supply Ohio. I get a lot of folks screaming from Ohio, "We need the beer back. We need the beer." So we'll be able to, scale out some distribution. I'm looking at comments here, and we're excited about getting up there. Now, Yards Brewery in Philadelphia. Years ago, God, almost 10 years ago, when I started developing this concept, Armed Forces Brewing Company, it was Seawolf Brewery back then. Ooh, I got my brother watching from Washington, D.C., too. My brother, Dave Beal, is watching the show. What's up, bro? Dave Beal, 30 plus years in the military, Air Force, and another 13 with DHS, just retired. Congratulations, brother. That's a hell of a service record to our country. So a shout out to my bro. Anyway, Yards Brewery. That Yards was one of the 5 case. I did 5 case studies. Okay, I took 5 breweries. One of them was Yards. One of them was Sierra Nevada. One of them was Wicked Weed. Gosh, I can't remember who the other 2 were. I cannot remember who the other 2 were. It'll come to me. And did a case study on them. They're from their conception to their scale to their brand, the whole deal. Yards was one of them, and actually went up to Philadelphia to meet with Tom Kehoe, the owner, and he was just so gracious. Sat us down, gave us the story of Yards. They were in the process of moving to a bigger facility, which was going to cost them millions of dollars. That's a big operation there. So anyway, they're just great people. So we know Tom, and these folks at B3, they're great. So we're excited to partner with them on contracting our brew, and we're gonna keep contract brewing beer. We are looking at contract brewing in San Diego, so we can open up the California market, and Arizona, Sharon Humphrey Miller, and get our beer easier. Open that market up in California, Arizona, over there, and also St. Louis as well. And open the market into the Midwest, and if shipping cost has just been astronomical. That's why I'm really excited that gas prices are coming down. And as business owners that we are, folks, we have to be mindful of those things. I wouldn't call them political, even though they kind of are. But when gas prices go down, shipping costs go down. Our company saves money. Shipping is less expensive. So, those things matter. And when when oil prices are low, gas prices go down. So we're excited about that. But the point is to get contract brewing partners set up, and what we really had to do with contract brewing in Florida, we were contract brewing in Baltimore at one time, and we proved to ourselves years ago that we could maintain the quality of the beer contract brewing in different places. That's one thing you got to think about is, what if one contract brewing partner doesn't brew the beer like they do in Baltimore, that where you started out. You got to make sure the recipes are on point. Your brewmaster has to make sure, and communications and test tasting with these contract brewing partners. And we prove that we can do that. We prove that we can make the beer taste the same, because not all water is the same, ladies and gentlemen. The water in Florida is not the same as the water in Texas or the water in Maryland or and you have to take that into account. Water matters. So anyway, back to my point, contract brewing in these different parts of the country and being able to open those markets and get consumers our beer better. Cool. All right.
Unknown caller.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my phone. We're going to turn the volume down here so you don't have to hear that again. All right. So anyway, that's the story on the beer. Let's see who's popped in. Pennsylvania, my cousin lives there. Kathy Castellano. Kathy Castellano. Like Mafia Castellano? I'm teasing you, Kathy. So a lot of people have popped on here. Okay. Let me get this announcement out here as well. We're going to be doing a lot of different topics, a lot of different guests on here, a lot of veterans on here on the Red Friday podcast, and I talked a little bit about the different topics we're going to be doing. One of those topics is this UFO UAP thing. I've been a passionate fan of this stuff since I was a kid, and I've read freaking every UFO book you could think of, starting out with Chariots of the Gods. Remember Chariots of the Gods it was the 70s for me. I'm not sure when that book was written, 69, 70, something like that. Eric von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods. I started out with that as a kid and was like, wow, really? Really? Wow, whoa. And just got into it, like cultish into it. So every Christmas I was getting books and all that good stuff about this UFO and UAP stuff. So when the New York Times came out with the article, I think it was 2017, they came out and had been doing all this research on the Navy and the sightings and the experiences that our naval pilots were having, like David Frere. All the way from 2004, I guess, they were showing videos, and wow, it was just, here we are in 2026 now, and we got congressional hearings on this stuff. We got whistleblowers coming forward from the CIA and from the U.S. Navy, from the military. And I mean, this is blown up, and now I don't know about you, but I am on social media a lot, on Instagram and Facebook and X and LinkedIn and all those. And you have your coffee in the morning and you're scrolling through, and gosh darn it, there's going to be a UFO coming through your feed there, something about UFOs. And you're usually seeing a U.S. congressman or woman talking about it, or a podcast, Sean Ryan or Joe Rogan. I mean, everybody's talking about it and talking about disclosure. There's this new movie out coming out, Age of Disclosure. It's out right now in theaters, and they're making the rounds on that. So who knows what's going to happen? But January 30th. Here on the Red Friday podcast, we just scored a major guest, and that is the man who headed the secret UAP UFO program at the Pentagon. His name is Luis Elizondo, and you've probably heard of him. If you're watching congressional hearings and stuff like that, and he's out there on social media, you've seen him testify before congressional committees, and he's going to be our guest. He's got a book out as well, and he's going to be our guest January 30th, Friday. You can't get any better than that for this topic. That's the highest level. Anyway, Luis Elizondo is going to be here, Red Friday Podcast, 7 p.m., January 30th. Everyone should tune in on this one because we're going to ask him a lot of questions. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions he can't answer because they're classified. But I think we're going to really talk to him also about this. This is what I don't hear a lot on these other podcasts and programs is, yeah, they all run through, hey, the Navy pilot ran into the Tic Tac here, and this UFO sighting was here, and they've recovered aliens, and they've recovered, there's a whole UFO crash program the government has, and all this kind of stuff. But I don't hear anybody talking a lot about how it affects our society. How is this going to affect our everyday lives? Yours, mine, everybody's. Local, federal, federal government, social norms, religion. How is this going to affect? If this is true, you guys, I would say it's pretty true if we've come this far. I'm going to go with the military pilots and the CIA whistleblowers who are under oath testifying in skiffs even about what they know and what they've experienced to congressional members. I'm just going to assume that this shit's true. There's aliens. And they are visiting us, and they have been visiting us, and they live here, whether it's in the ocean, hiding in the ocean, or wherever the frick they are on the other side of the moon, whatever. I'm just going to assume that this is going to happen. Disclosure is going to happen. How does it affect our daily lives? Do they drink beer? Is everybody going to run out and buy beer? Everybody ran out and bought beer up. They cleaned us out of beer during COVID, right when COVID was announced and they were going to shut everything down. Everybody ran out. Hell, we sold out of beer in April of 2020 and couldn't get back to production until December of 2020. So what's going to happen? Are people going to make themselves unalive? I just saw, I guess it was a documentary that I saw. I ran into it on TV just like yesterday or the day before yesterday about, I think it was 1930, the H.G. Wells thing, They did the radio program where the Martians were invading. They made it sound like the Martians were invading Earth. And, some people actually jumped off buildings and committed suicide over that thing. I'm not laughing, but, what's going to happen? How's it going to affect us? So we're going to ask Lou Elizondo a lot of those questions and see how prepared, he thinks that we're going to be, our government, everything. I'm excited about this. This is exciting for me. This is going to be really exciting. All right, I'm looking at comments here. Hey, Lance O'Neill, good to see you, my man. Like the story in Vegas. Yeah, Kathy Castellano, hello. What story in Vegas? There's a lot of stories in Vegas. Nevada is a UFO hub. That whole area, there we go. Like Mona Lisa, my brother Danny told me about her. She used mental telepathy to control her spaceship. Oh boy. Yeah. So anyway, all these people that we've read about and heard about that claim they, like Betty and Barney Hill that were abducted by UFOs. A lot of us, probably 70-80% of us, probably scoffed at that stuff. Art Bell. Yes, Art Bell, the great Art Bell. Used to listen to him a lot. Anyway, that's January 30th. You guys put that on your calendar. Luis Elizondo, former director of AATIP, that was the Pentagon's secret UFO UAP program. He's coming on. And we're going to have a lot of other vets on here. I'm putting together, and I'm going to be reaching out to some more people. I think we're going to have a panel for this, is when we do the Ibogaine show. And we're going to see about getting Robin O'Neill on for the Ibogaine show. Ibogaine, if you don't know what that is, it's a therapy that a lot of veterans are doing right now for PTSD and addiction. A lot of our veterans, Rob O'Neill, Marcus and Morgan Luttrell, and just a lot, Dakota Meyer, a lot of veterans, DJ Shipley, are heading down to Mexico, going to Ibogaine therapy treatment centers down there. And Netflix has a whole documentary on it. You should go watch it. I think it's called In the Waves of War. You should watch that and see what these warriors, these heroes go through, because PTSD is real. It leads to veteran suicide. And I'm in Texas, and here in Texas, Governor Abbott and former Governor Perry really spearheaded a $50 million piece of legislation to put those funds toward research and development of Ibogaine therapy. And a lot of those veterans that I just named off have gone and testified before the Texas State Senate on that bill that they passed, and it needs to be legalized here. If it's helping these guys, these men and women, and they swear it is, and it is, it is. I can tell you, having a lot of friends that are SEALs and veterans and special forces, and I've talked to a lot of them about that, about their Ibogaine therapy. So it works. So we'll see. So we're going to do a whole show on Ibogaine therapy. We're going to do a whole show on a couple things that are about the quality of life for our veterans. They go out, they serve, and man, you guys watching, you men and women watching, your veterans, from PTSD to service-related injuries, all that stuff. There's just so much involved than just going out and serving and coming back home when you're done. It doesn't work that way, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think our veterans have been shit on quite a bit. And their quality of life after serving needs to come first. The U.S. government needs to put more money behind it instead of spending money on illegal immigrants and things like that. That's been a big topic, and it's been a big sore spot. Quality of life equals barbecue. Fire for Effect barbecue team. I love those guys. That's right. Quality of life, eat more barbecue. Hey, it's why we have Mission Barbecue too. But really, the quality of life for our veterans when they get done serving, and their family members who serve when they do, needs to be right at the top of the list. And it's not there. I'm sure it's improved. I know it's improved some, but we can do better. And there's all sorts of new technology out there, healthcare technology. The Ibogaine therapy I just spoke about, stem cells. I've got veterans that are going through stem cell therapy as well. Shoulder injuries, knee injuries, things that happened to them while serving. And these doctors that are out there at the forefront of stem cell therapy are treating veterans and testing this therapy out. Some of it's a test, some of it's not. And the results are incredible. I've got friends that are veterans that are doing stem cell therapy and, shoulder injuries, like I said, shoulder knee injuries, and they are They are back to good health. It's working. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here, but it's where we need to go. We're gonna do some shows on this stuff and bring in some experts on this and have a beer while we're talking about it. Anyway, uh, all right. The other topic I can't wait to do is the ghost hunting thing. That was another thing that I was into back when I did the UFO thing. I did the Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster. I did the ghosts thing. We had quite creative minds when I was a kid, and read a lot of books. And it was I grew up in the 70s. It was paranormal was cool back then. Um, the paranormal stuff was. So I did a lot of that. I read a lot about a lot of that stuff, and I've never had a UFO experience. I've never seen a UFO or anything like that. But on the ghost end, the spirits end, I got some stories. And a matter of fact, I got one that scared me into be a real believer, something I experienced back then. But that I'll save it for the show. But I've got some family members that have experienced that. I've got some friends that have experienced that stuff too at a very high level. So I've actually had two experiences, two. But one was freaking incredible. I can't wait to tell the story. The other one was interesting. So I'm a believer. There's something there. Anyway, all right. Dancing lights. Kathy, you got a lot of shit going on in your life here with UFO in your family with UFOs and stuff. Thank you for addressing PTSD and mental health. Yeah, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, man. Uh, I've been on the phone at 3 in the morning when the demons come for a friend, a veteran friend, and having to talk to them. I've been to events where I'll just, Michael Day is a great example of that. Navy SEAL. He's at the Bone Frog Open, or you see him at a golf tournament event, and he was a suicide veteran suicide epidemic advocate, trying to help uh, advocate for funds and mental health care for veterans. He was an advocate of that, and to see him at events, and then all of a sudden, you know, finding out that he himself made himself unalive. That was wow, wow. Anyway, I like the Battle Buddy program as well. I think you guys call it Battle Buddies, calling your battle buddy up. All right, Ian Lake's in the house. Doug Schramm. Hey, Doug. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Boy, we're going to be up that way a lot soon. Ray Rodriguez, Donald. Man, appreciate you guys joining the Red Friday podcast. That's great. I hope you guys are wearing red. Anyway, so we're going to be doing a lot of different shows, and I'm really leading up to the January 30th. If you just joined us, I'm going to talk about Preamble Beer real quick because I have people asking about it online. When's it going to be ready? Where can we get it? All that stuff. Preamble is packaged. It is ready. It's on pallets, and I have talked to our distributor in Florida. They are waiting on the order from our fulfillment partner who has shipping to 45 states and Washington D.C. I am doing a denial of service attack on them, trying to get them to get that beer ordered. I mean, the beer's literally probably a mile, 2 miles away from their warehouse, and if I was in Florida, I'd go pick it up myself and take it over there. So I'm working on that. As soon as they make an order and we can get them the beer, I will start plugging away those links where you can go and get the Preamble beer. I'm excited about that. And then you guys can start ordering. Uh, I've talked to our distributor in Pennsylvania, Stockertown Beverage. I think they're going to place an order for some Preamble beer as well, and start getting that out to stores and just get back to business, after our major interruption. And it's not funny at all, but as of today, that group in Norfolk is going after another brewery. Yeah, they're going after another brewery. The post just went up. The comments and posts just went up, I think, this morning. This other brewery that actually bought a place right around the corner from where our brewery was at in Norfolk. They have a little tap room there, and I guess the owner posted something on Instagram or something like that about the woman being shot by the ICE agent in Minneapolis. Said something about, I mean, well, I can tell you exactly what he said. He said, here, I'll even tell you exactly what he said. The owner of this small brewery, he's got 2 locations in Hampton Roads area. He said, he posted, or he was commenting back. He said, classic FAFO, sad, but maybe don't attack federal officers. That's all he said. Man, somebody caught wind of that in Norfolk, and that whole group there, that Citizens for a Better Norfolk, those anonymous people who we're going to find out who they are and get our own justice here. Yeah, they went off. They started posting all over. We're going to go after him. Do we have to go after him now like we did Armed Forces Break? Oh my God. People have nothing better to do. Not kidding. Anyway, so yeah. This group's back at it. No shit. Ian Lake, no shit. You can't make this shit up. Anyway, so I'm telling you, I can't say a lot, but I'm gonna say this. 2026 is gonna be really interesting, and those people in Norfolk, Virginia have another thing coming. I'm telling you, they are gonna get a fucking surprise. Pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, another brewery under fire. And there's so much fighting going on out there, man. Like, it's crazy out there. It is nuts-opotamus out there. If we have veterans fighting veterans out on Instagram now, talking shit about other veterans, and I don't get it. I do not get it. You've got Sean Ryan fighting Dan Crenshaw out on social media, nasty shit, you guys, nasty shit, like talking lawsuits and stuff, talking, I'm gonna kick your ass stuff out there. You got people still, it's 2026. People still, veterans, still posting shit that Rob O'Neill didn't kill Osama bin Laden out there. I mean, still, Terry, I don't get it. But anyway, in conservative talk shows, the Candace Owens shit going on. Wow. You've got that stuff going on. Everybody is just like flipped the fuck out. And I'll tell you what, we're just going to make beer, and we're going to have our podcast and talk about good, fun stuff we would drink a beer to. And we'll talk a little bit about that stuff, but we're not going to sit there and throw veterans under the bus or veteran-owned companies or anything like that. We don't play that way. We want to do what we can to lift veteran-owned companies up, which is, Freedom Pickles is a great example. E.J. Snyder, our friend E.J. Snyder, He's got a new company, kind of new, Freedom Pickles, and he's doing great, man. They're getting into Harris Teeters. He's got an excellent product. EJ is just an awesome guy, and we want to help veterans and veteran owned businesses. We want to lift them up, not tear them down. Um, anyway, good stuff. I'm rambling about it because it's a hot spot and have experienced this shit in Norfolk, and I'm tired of it. Anyway, so we're gonna bring on the show some more veterans that have started new businesses, and the coffee company show is going to be a lot of fun. There must be I haven't I haven't done all the research yet, but I did dip my toe in the proverbial water there to find out how many veteran-owned coffee companies are there now. There's a ton of them, and on Instagram, on ads and stuff like that, I'm seeing new coffee companies popping up every week. There seems to be a new military veteran-owned coffee company popping up, and the question is, who has the best coffee? And this is where you guys are going to come in too. We're going to get a lot of feedback from you guys. And I'll ask you this question right now. Comment in the comment section. Tell me who has the best coffee? Not the coolest, not the best marketing or anything like that. Who actually has the best coffee? Because some of them out there taste burnt to me. I've tried a lot of them. So, tell me right now. Comment in and tell me who out of veteran-owned coffee companies, which coffee do you favor? Okay. I think we're gonna do a show, maybe two, about veteran-owned coffee companies and have some of the owners of these coffee companies on and talk to them. We we have a coffee cup, and I think we put out a social media post. We have a coffee cup that you can buy on our store at the Armory, 1776, and I think it says, "We're not a coffee company. We're a brewing company, or we're a brewing company, not a coffee company. We brew beer," or something like that. Because we get mistaken for a coffee company all the time, all the time. Um, and it's cute. So we decided to make a coffee cup. We're a beer company, not a we don't make coffee. So anyway, I'm interested to find out who you like. I'd like to try Hunter's Blend. I like Black Rifle. That's a great success story. Black Rifle Coffee Company. I like their marketing too. They do a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. Um, yep, Black Rifle. Warpath is another one. Anyway, we Fire for Effect Barbecue team. We pour preamble in our coffee cups. I'll tell you what. Preamble is, yep, I can see that. Death from Above Coffee Porter, a beer that we make, that we have had this just huge cult following. They're screaming for it. We had people, knocking on the trailer door at the Geico 500. We had a tent there at Talladega and had tastings all weekend, and everybody loved the coffee porter, Death from Above. That beer is excellent. It's one of my favorites, but man, they wanted it in their coffee cup with donuts that morning, a couple mornings. All right. I'm waiting for some comments on the coffee. What's your favorite veteran-owned coffee company? Military-themed coffee company. There's a bunch of them. We're gonna do a whole show on it. VA Overhaul, without a doubt. VA Overhaul. Yeah, we're going to let when we get the veterans on here to talk about ibogaine and stem cell, we're going to talk about VA and VA overhaul. That's for sure. All right, let me see here. Black rifle, black rifle, black rifle. Nobody's mentioned Warpath. There's a bunch of them. I liked Warpath. Black Rifle is our favorite. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Uh, and I mean, we're going to do a whole show on future beer names as well, where you guys can help us name some beers. We do a Death from Above coffee porter. We're going to do a Death from Below as well for a tribute to submarine crews, to the bubbleheads of the world. I mean, there's a whole bunch of beer names we got on the list here. 19 Kilo is another beer name that we had. If you don't, I'll just tell me if you know what 19 Kilo is. Don't look it up. Don't Google it. Just comment what you think it is. What's another? Bearded Bastards was another one we were going to do. That's on a block there. We got names for beers. E4 Mafia. Names for beers is fun as hell. That'll be a lot of fun when we can do some more beers. Anyway. All right, get your comments in there. You got any questions or comments? Go ahead. Let me take a tour. I'm watching LinkedIn here, and I'm watching Facebook. Let me go over to X real quick and see if anybody has asked a question. I've only got so many devices. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Nope, no questions on X. Online order. Yay! In time for a 250th birthday party, somebody said. Mrs. Rancho Fiesta out on X. Yes! 250 birthday this year. A lot to celebrate. A lot. So preamble, be ready. And I will definitely, man, we're going to go on a whole tirade here. And get the link out where you can go and buy it online, and we'll let you know what states it's going into what stores, and all that good kind of stuff. All right. M90 Hero Beer. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to be doing a lot of more historical stuff as well out there. Preamble, we the people. Light session lager. What's it about? Well, it's about the Constitution, obviously, and it's about the oath that our service members take. And there's a lot of history behind that. The Constitution wasn't put in place until 1787. It was written by Governor Morris, one of our founding fathers. So you're not going to see 1776 over there by the preamble beer, but you'll see 1787. And there's a Constitution Day and all that good kind of stuff. So a lot of history behind and what preamble is about. Now, the trademarked tagline for preamble is the official beer of freedom. Yep. So we'll be using that a lot. You'll be seeing that a lot. The official beer of freedom. And there are I know a lot of you you're gonna buy the beer and then you'll probably go to the online store. If you haven't gone to our online store, it's www.thearmory1776.com. And my God, there's new preamble stuff up there, from beach towels to t-shirts to hoodies to ball caps, dad caps. I think there's stickers, Funky George stickers, preamble stickers. There's preamble koozies. So there's a whole bunch of there preambles. There's a whole line of stuff there. We've got a whole line for Red Friday up there, and there's just a lot of new stuff up there on the store. And there's going to be even more new stuff up there on the store. So that's www.thearmory1776.com. And there's a lot of new cool stuff up there too for 2026. Anyway, questions, comments, anything. Got to get that beer out. So, preamble. Next beer is going to be Grunt. We're working on getting that batch dropped. Grunt Double IPA. If we have a Grunt beer, does that mean we should make a Pog beer? I don't know. And get to the rest of them too. Cat Shot and Special Hops. But Grunt Double IPA, interesting beer. Absolutely freaking delicious. Definitely a double IPA, but a good double IPA. 9.5 ABV. It's got that high octane. Just a great beer. We put it in 12-ounce six packs, and we put it in 19.2-ounce cans. The chains, your HEBs, your Harris Teeters, your Publix, they want those 19.2-ounce cans, those single serves. The 7-Elevens, the construction worker gets off work, or anybody for that matter, gets off work, they go to the convenience store, they go to HEB, they go to Publix, and they want that one can they can buy and take home and eat their dinner and drink a good beer and watch TV and then go to bed and get up and do it again in the morning. Cat Shot win. Doug Schramm, I know you love that Cat Shot, my friend. We do too. That is probably, it's definitely my favorite lager out of all of our lagers, Cat Shot, our second beer we ever came out with. I know you're asking when, and the answer to that is I don't know yet. We are bouncing back, but we're getting there. A lot of big things are going to happen here in the next 30 to 60 days for this company. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I'm starting to get excited about those things. Big things. But getting the beer out. So I think, like I said, Grunt Double IPA is next. And what I was going to say was Grunt was really overtaking sales there. That 19.2 ounce can, we made a difference. And it just being a good beer at 9.5 ABV. We started that out as Ground Pounder with 9.0 ABV, and our distributors actually came to us and they said, hey, the best play for you guys is to bump that up to 9.5. That's the sweet spot where the consumers like. So we did just that. We bumped it up another notch to 9.5, and there it is today. And I think Ground Pounder, I think that name might have been trademarked or something. I'm not sure. So there was some reason why we had to change the name. Does Utah get any good beer? Utah and your laws there in Utah. You know what? That's a good question. Utah is not completely on our radar screen at the moment. Utah. Utah. I think they have some strict rules in Utah. I think, but I'm not sure. Strict laws. We'll get there. Hate their laws. Yeah, yeah. There's some pretty funky laws in Utah. All right. Any more comments? Any questions? Get them in the comments section. We got about 6 minutes left of the show here, and I want to. If you got any questions, I would be happy to answer them. I'm going to dial in here to. Let me see if there's anything going on back on LinkedIn and X. We got any more questions there? Nothing on X, but everybody's excited about online ordering, that's for sure. 45 states in Washington, D.C. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty darn awesome. All right, LinkedIn. Let me take one more pass over there and see if we got any questions over there. All right. Let's see. All right. In the process, everybody, don't forget if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, that's one place I didn't look. Make sure you're sharing our stuff. We would appreciate that. Got any questions there? Hey. Nope. All good, all good. I think everybody wanted to hear about Preamble Beer. Like, what is the deal? Where is it? Where is it? It's coming. And I am sincerely apologize for the process. But literally, like I said, it's driving me crazy. Our preamble's probably 2 miles down the street from where our fulfillment center is going to be, where you can order it and have it shipped. It's driving me crazy. Like I said, if I was in Florida, I would like tap dance that shit down to Nick and Mo's liquor store. So anyway, I'll probably have to out of state. Yep. Yeah. You're in Are you in Arizona there, Kathy? Where are you at? Are you in Utah? Anyway, the beer. Let's see. So 45 states. There's going to be 5 states that it doesn't ship to, and I'm a little worried, Kathy. Utah might be one of them. I'm not sure. I got to check. I'll find out. Let everybody know. But Utah might be one of those states we can't ship to. Anyway. Interesting. Okay. Any more questions, comments on there? Ian Lake's been kind of quiet tonight, but I know you're watching the Indiana Oregon game, and that is an important game. All right, so here's my prediction. I think Indiana's going to win this game tonight. I mean, it's already almost 30 minutes into the game, probably, but I think they're going to win. Obviously, it's going to be Miami and Indiana. Now, this is just me because this is my opinion. I am not a Miami fan. Reason being is because I am a born, raised, in my DNA Nebraska Cornhusker fan and Navy football. But when you're a Cornhusker fan, it was Miami and Florida State and Clemson who denied us the national championship multiple times. And I think it was 2000, just flat out embarrassed Nebraska. We had the Heisman Trophy winner that year as well, but just flat out embarrassed Nebraska, 41-10 or something like that. Clemson and Florida State, we're supposed to have the best team in college football history back in 81, somewhere around there. And Clemson beat us in the final seconds of the game. I have a story about that Clemson game. I do. I had just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I found a church there that I liked, and it was my first day there, and a couple sat down by me in the pew, and the guy leaned over and he said, "Hey, you're new here." I was kind of shocked that he knew I was new. I said, "Yeah, I am actually." "How'd you know that? It's my first day." And he goes, "Well, I can just tell and everything. I'm actually the youth pastor here." And "Oh, okay." And he asked me, he goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Nebraska." And he said, "Oh, you're a Husker fan." I said, "I am a Husker fan, like a really big Husker fan, like born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska." And actually went to school with Tom Osborne's son and knew Coach Osborne and the family and all that good kind of stuff. And he said, "Oh, are you?" I said, "Yep." And he said, "Well, my name's Perry Tuttle." And I caught the winning touchdown for Clemson in the Orange Bowl that year. I was just in shock. Perry Tuttle. Go back, look it up. You can find it on YouTube. You can find that snippet anywhere of Perry Tuttle, wide receiver, catching the game-winning touchdown against Nebraska. And we laughed. It was him and his wife sitting there as the youth pastor at this church. And I love this church. It was such a great church, and I love the people there. And that's my story. You can't make this shit up. I've had stuff happen to me like that my entire life, and we'll talk about that stuff as we go. Shellback Smitty's in the house. All right. FY Indiana out to a fast start, 7-0. Yeah, they're gonna win. So it's gonna be Miami, and it's gonna be Indiana, and I am gonna predict that Indiana will win the national championship. I don't think Miami can keep up with them, but my predictions suck in college football. I have not been good at it. I think I was 50-50 last week or the week before. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll see. Can Miami beat Indiana? They have a great defense. They have a pretty good offense. We'll see. Anyway, get to your game. Indiana's leading 7-0. Thanks for joining us on the Red Friday podcast. Don't forget, January 30th, put that on your date. Luis Elizondo is going to be here, the former director of the Pentagon's secret UAP program, the AATIP, is going to be joining us, and we're going to talk about UFOs, aliens, and all that good stuff. What are we in for? When's disclosure? That's January 30th, 7 p.m. Mark that on your calendar. It's going to be a great show. I can't wait to meet him and have him on. Everybody, veterans, law enforcement officers, thank you for your service. Let's pray for our ICE agents and our Border Patrol agents, everybody who's out putting themselves in harm's way. And we'll see you next Friday for the